you're in Norway. You spent a lot of time with Magnus, I think, doing some filming, doing some climbing, and the guy's strong. And although he's always talking about how he's not strong, but it's Magnus. He's pretty
He's
strong.
strong.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
pretty strong. So yeah, I'm curious what it's like to spend time with him, and where you see his climbing style, like where you see uniquely he's his strengths are, if you will, and anything that you may have picked up from him along the way.
Yeah, I would say like we're pretty much counter opposites in terms of climbing styles. He has a very different way of climbing to me,
Mm.
which
More dynamic, powerful.
yeah, a lot more dynamic, quick movements with his feet, a bit more quicker with his climbing movement as well. Um, but I think it's really good for me climbing with those sorts of people as well, just because it's such a contrast, and it's really interesting to me to see how like these other people move across the rock. Or well, I've actually only been climbing in the gym with him, but yeah, it's very, very interesting. And it's interesting how we climb the same things in very different ways as well.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
curious for that. So like if you're getting on a set problem at the gym, uh like describe to me how typically a setter will set a problem and kind of have in their mind like, oh, this is how this is going to be climbed. But if you all are you and Magnus are climbing it in totally different ways, like how does that look?
yeah, I think I would definitely be more of the climber that would sort of like try and keep the feet on, using your feet as hands, getting the feet quite high,
Right.
you know, rocking over. Um, Whereas Magnus has a lot of strength and power, and I feel like he spends less time on the wall and less time sort of moving those feet, and he uses his sort of strength, power, and stability in his upper body to make quicker movements with his feet, and is able to get through the moves and be on the moves for less time.
Mm.
And I think like he can save it when I think probably when you look at us two climbing, you may think like, oh, Magnus is maybe cutting his feet a lot more and wasting energy and stuff, but he's moving in a way that suits him so well that he can get through the moves quicker. Um, Whereas I'm a lot slower on the moves, and because I'm not as powerful, then I'm having to put my feet here, there, and everywhere, and up really high, um, and I'm kind of wasting energy on the time efficiency on
Sure.
on the climb. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's just different ways of moving,
yeah,
for
so like
sure.
he might be using in any like certain move, he might be using more power than you would. But then he's off that move so quickly that he's then recovering or
Yeah,
able to
and it
use
just
that momentum, whereas you're using less maybe absolute power on any given move, but it's just a longer process for you.
yeah, and also his strength is so high above that particular move that it's not a powerful move for him in a
Uh
way.
yeah,
Um,
that's a nice problem to
so
have.
yeah, yeah, it's definitely not like one style is better than the other. It's more he's really found a style which play to his strengths and work for him. Um, and then I've found my style that play to my strengths and work for me. And we can probably both take a little bit of a leaf out of each other's book, you know. Um, and it would be fantastic for me to probably move a little bit more like him and at certain points, and for him to move a little bit more like me at certain points.
All right, y'all. Just a quick second here to shout out today's sponsor. Shout out to Rungni. You guys know Rungni. It's Magnus Midtbo's company. God, do they make the best stuff around. I love their gear, and I'm loving their chalk. They've got a chalk for you, whatever your skin needs and whatever type of climber you are. Indoor on volumes, boards, outdoor on rock. They've got your mag dust, mag juice, super dry, and now mag lock, which is this like mysterious, super expensive, but only use a little bit of it stuff that will absolutely keep you on your project longer than anything else out there. I'm telling you, I've tried all of this stuff indoors and out, and it's just the best around. I don't have to sell you on it because once you try it, you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's the best around. So if you want to give it a try, you can score yourself a bundle with some free shipping and 10% off using code STRUGGLE at checkout down there. I really appreciate it. It supports me so I can keep making videos like this, which we are going to get back to right now. Someone who doesn't seem to be much of a stranger to struggle. You seem to in fact, it really embraced the struggle. You put yourself through a lot over there, dude. So, what is your relationship with struggle as a climber?
Yeah, I would say if anybody has seen me climbing, they will say my climbing style is struggle. Like that's basically what I'm doing on the rock. Like continuously struggling. I would say I kind of like relish in the struggle. And I kind of seek it out and I embrace it and I enjoy the struggle. Um, yeah,
Was
if
it
you,
always so? Like, were you like, where do you think that came from? Because we don't all have that. You know, some of us avoid the struggle more than others. I did a little bit of off-width climbing with Tom not too long ago in Moab, and man, talk about discomfort. But is that something that like I feel like maybe I could train that or get used to it, but like it's certainly not something that I've sought out like or relished in like it sounds like you do. And were you, you know, a little 8-year-old running around putting yourself in these like really uncomfortable positions, or is this a learned skill?
I guess I've always enjoyed that kind of. I guess there's different types of struggle though, isn't there? There's the kind of like climbing struggle, like the training struggle, the pain, or like off-wit struggle, or that sort of thing. But then, I guess there's also other, you know, struggles in life, you could say, which you don't particularly want to seek out. But it's those fun struggles, you know, that
Yeah.
you that you kind of after and you want to seek out because when you go through that struggle and then you end up I guess usually that struggle is towards a goal or a project or whatever it might be, and then when you go through that process and you've had that struggle, then I mean the harder the struggle, the longer the struggle, the sort of like sweeter it is at the end in a way. But often yeah, you can kind of it's kind of like a lot with these projects that you do remember that end thing, but the harder the struggle was to get there, you kind of remember that struggle more than particularly doing the actual thing.
Mm.
Um, especially, you know, those like training moments and that kind of like grind to actually get there. So yeah, I think it comes in different forms. It can be like a struggle over months or years, or it can be a struggle on a particular route where you're just putting 5 or 10 minutes of hardcore effort in, or that struggle over like 2 years where you're really grinding towards a hard project or something. So there's different types of struggle, isn't there, really?
Hey, if you like this video, check out what I got going on over on Patreon. I've got over 100 hours of videos and bonus episodes with the absolute biggest names in rock climbing, from Adam Ondra to Magnus Midtbo, Alex Honnold, basically everybody under the sun. They're all right there, and you can watch them for free right now with a 7-day trial.